What's going on, guys? So in this video we're going to be discussing what I feel is the only 10 cheap fragrances you're going to need for this winter 2022 going into 2023. These are some that I've been spending time with, some that I've yet to throw in the rotation that I'm excited about. We've got a beloved clone, we've got smaller indie stuff in here, we've got cheapies galore from typical designer cheapie stuff that you would expect as far as brands. We've got some Middle Eastern cheapies. Got a little bit of everything covered here. We got some coffee fragrances. Good stuff for the winter. Stay tuned. Starting with one that's continued to surprise me. It does smell a little cheap and synthetic, don't get me wrong, but damn, it smells good in the air. It's from Lattafa. It is the Hype Beast Khamrah. I really dig this stuff, guys. Clearly they were ripping off Angel Share from Killian. Oh, this is good stuff. It still has a boozy smell from benzoin without having a boozy note, so it's not quite as rum-esque cognac type of smell like Angel Share. Obviously, Angel Share is better, but on a budget in the $40-ish price point, 30 some odd dollar range, this is hard to beat. Nuclear performer, overwhelming performer. You don't need a lot of sprays of this one. If you're one of the heavy spray type, you're going to fill a room with this fragrance. It's super long lasting. Very sweet though. You have to like very sweet. Still has a bunch of spice and this boozy ambery feel from the benzoin. Just a lovely fragrance. Definitely recommend you guys check this one out. Perfect for this winter, cutting through the cold. That's Lattafa Khamrah. Next, we have one of my personal favorites from Azzaro for the winter. This is Homme Intense. Some of you may have been expecting this. It might even be in the thumbnail. I don't know. I didn't make the thumbnail yet, but this one. Boozy, spicy aromatics. Think traditional barbershop, the original one's DNA, with a bunch of booziness. I believe it's like a brandy note or something like that. Very sweet and boozy. A lot of cinnamon here, so it's warm and spicy. Great performance. Definitely warm and cozy to cut through the cold with kind of this refined professional appeal of the original Zara Homme. Not too serious. The booziness keeps a little bit of a playful nature to it. Something more upbeat, not too serious, but it can definitely dress up really well. This one goes great with any type of jacket or hoodie, whether it be sports jacket, suit jacket, leather jacket, bomber jacket. It just works. It's great for the winter. You can find this in the 40 some odd dollar range. I bought it last winter in the mid 30s. I believe it's still somewhere in that realm. I don't think price has gone up too much. Definitely worth checking out. This and The Most Wanted are my two favorite Azzaro fragrances. This being my favorite version of Homme, that being my favorite version of Wanted. Really hard to beat for this time of year, especially for the money. That's Azzaro Homme Intense. Next, we have another affordable Middle Eastern fragrance that's kind of falls in between cloning two fragrances of the same line. We're talking Ombre Leather and Ombre Leather Parfum. This is from Afnan. This is Rare Carbon. Because I enjoy this one so much, I don't think I'm getting either version of Ombre Leather, because this has that sweet, rough and tumble leather smell of the original with a lot of violet leaf and florals from the Parfum. Like I said, it kind of falls in between the two. I did a full review on this one recently. Performance is great. It doesn't smell cheap and synthetic. Afnan continues to impress me. They've kind of become my favorite affordable Middle Eastern house. This is more inspired by than direct clone of, to be honest with you. You can find it in the 30 some odd dollar range. Again, I'll have links to everything down below as best I can find for you guys. I really dig this one, guys. Has a freshness, has a soft powdery floral tone while still having that rough and tumble leather smell to where it's not just good for the cold. I think early spring, you can still pull this one off. Not good for the high heat. Definitely better for the cold weather. That's why I deem it really good. A really good cheapie for this winter because I'm going to be wearing it. This is stuff I'm going to be reaching for. It's basically stuff you're going to see in the weekly rotations that I'm recommending maybe you should check out. And this is definitely one of those. It's Rare Carbon from Afnan. Next, we have my favorite blue fragrance to wear in the cold. Some of you may know where I'm going with this. Like I said, it might be in the thumbnail. I don't know because I didn't make it yet. But Salvatore Ferragamo, Acqua Essenziale Blue. The fragrance most synonymous with my channel. My favorite blue fragrance still. So, the reason I like this one more in the cold, more fall, winter, and even spring, it'll work in the spring for me. Some people like to wear it in the summer, and that's fine. I find it's a little too sweet, powdery, and cloying for the high heat. It's great at cutting through the cold for me while still maintaining some freshness. When you want a little bit of a fresh touch in this crispy, cold, snowy weather that I experience out here in the mountains in Colorado, this is a great fragrance for that. I get every bit of 8 hours on my skin. Projection is not too overwhelmingly heavy, but it is pretty strong for the first hour and a half to 2 hours. Then it settles down close to the skin, as do most fragrances. But this is really good stuff. You can still find 100 mLs in the sub $50 price point, 40 some odd dollar range, testers in the 30 some odd dollar range, 50 mLs like this even cheaper. I've been talking about this one for years, guys, and this is one of the times a year that I like to put it in my rotation. So expect to see this from here and there in the weekly rotation. I suggest you check it out as well if you're looking for a great blue fragrance for the winter. It won't break the bank. Salvatore Ferragamo Acqua Essenziale Blue. A usual suspect, if you only want to spend $20 to $30 depending on bottle size, pops up at rack stores. It's kind of a rack store darling over the years. It's a great starter tobacco scent. It is Calvin Klein's CK1 Shock. I've been going back to this one. I even wore it out the shower not that long ago. It's still a great scent. I've been through a bottle of this one in the past. A little bit of an orangey, tangerine, citrus. It's something along those lines. I forgot. It's either orange or tangerine. But has this orangey feel to the top. Nice, moist, and sweet tobacco. It's not a real earthy smell. Like I said, great beginner tobacco scent. You're not going to spend much money, and even no matter how large of a collection you amass or where your taste takes you as far as experience level with niche, I think this can still fall into people's rotation to where they can appreciate it for what it is. It's not going to win any performance awards, but based on my skin, it is above average. It's not some beast, but it's definitely not a weak fragrance on my skin either. Like I said, it's a great fragrance, especially for teenagers. Teenagers that want something a little different from all their friends. This is a good one for that, especially this time of year. It does really good at cutting through the cold. It's great casually. It's great for work. It's just a great $20 fragrance, really. CK1 Shot from Calvin Klein. Now, this 5.1 ounce bottle, I don't believe can be found as cheap as the 100 ml, obviously, but in the $40 range, you can get a 100 milliliter of this. This has been a hype beast over the years. It's a Zara Wanted by Night. So if the most wanted could be found as cheap as this at 100 ml, I would say that, because like I said before early in the video, the most wanted is my favorite version of this DNA, but this is my second favorite, and it's much more affordable. It's been hyped over the years for good reason. It's sweet, it's spicy, it's ambery, it's got a smooth, lightly earthy tobacco as it dries down. Performance is great, it's alluring, it's known to pull some compliments, and it cuts through the cold really well. Don't just think the name by night means you can only wear it at night. I wear it during the daytime, almost every time I wear it. So wear things the way you want to wear them. And I mean, hell, if you want to wear this in the summer, wear it in the summer. Just because I'm putting it in a winter video doesn't mean you have to wear it in the winter. But my suggestion for this scent profile and performance would definitely be rock it for the winter. If you're looking for just a great mass appealing option with some sweetness and some spice that pretty much everyone around you is going to like, and you'll probably like too, you might want to take a look into this one. This is Azzaro Wanted by Night. So we have one of the two coffee fragrances in this video, and this is definitely on the more affordable side. This is kind of polarizing. Some people swear by this. It was a hype beast at one point, and some people are like, oh, it's off-putting, it's terrible. And I have to admit, I'm not a huge fan of the opening, but after about 3 to 5 minutes, when it starts to settle into the heart, you get a beautiful roasted coffee note from Halloween Man X. Performance is fan-frickin-tastic. Sub $40 price point to get a 125 milliliter bottle of this. This is some pretty good stuff. Admittedly, a little chemically synthetic, on the chemically synthetic side in the opening. That's why I'm like, the opening's nothing special here. But like I said, just getting into the heart, getting off of that top note initial spray, it gets really good really fast. Not too synthetic, and like I said, it's mainly when this roasted coffee starts to settle in. There's a beautiful light sweetness in the back. A little bit of an herbaceous feel that I pick up on my skin directly. Out in the air, I don't pick it up, but it's on a slightly more unique side, I find. I don't have any other fragrances that resemble this one. Kind of stands on its own. Like I said, it's a hype beast in its own right for a few years now, and it's absolutely built for this time of year. Cuts through the cold, has the performance, pulls some compliments here and there. I'm not going to call it some kind of magnet. I have gotten maybe one or two in the times I've worn it, but nothing overwhelmingly noteworthy where it's like, oh my God, guys, get this. That's not the case. But it is some really good stuff. It's worth considering, especially for the money. If you like coffee fragrances, you like cheapies, check out Halloween Man X this winter. Now, that was just the warm-up. This is the real deal when it comes to coffee fragrances. Nuclear Performance. I keep going back and forth on my favorite from Happyland Studio, but I can't make this my favorite because I only wear it this time of year because it's such a Christmas scent. We're talking about Homme for the holidays from Happyland Studio. I only wear it in December around Christmas time, like 2 times a year. This 30 ml I've had for years. And I only spray it like 4 times because it's ridiculously strong. But guys, this is my favorite coffee fragrance. Has been for years now. It is so good. There's a decaf edition now that doesn't have the coffee, that's more on the sweet notes, more gourmandish. This has a strong gourmand feel, maple syrup accord. The way I've described it in the past is picture a nice pot of coffee with warm, syrupy covered waffles sitting on the table. This is breakfast Christmas morning type of thing. This stuff is ridiculous. At least get a sample and try it. Don't just take my word for it. Get your nose on this one. Get your nose on it. It's a room filler too, guys. It will pull some compliments. It's so warming, so cozy, inviting, and holiday spirited. I mean, hell, the guy's even wearing a Santa hat. Happyland Studio, Homme for the holidays, in my opinion, the best coffee fragrance. So now this one is a Michael Dinsmore special. Shout out to Michael Dinsmore for making sense. And even though it was built for the fall, that doesn't mean you got to put it away for the winter, because I think it's still a fantastic ice cold wintry weather fragrance. We are talking about Making Sense Fallen Leaf. This is a lot of people's favorite from Michael Dinsmore, and for good reason. If you look at the note breakdown, it might overwhelm you a bit. It's made of 5 of Dinsmore's favorite fall fragrances plus some added notes. You're going to pick up cinnamon. You're going to get tobacco. You're going to get booze. You're going to get amber. You're going to get cinnamon spice, all kinds of herbs. It's a huge note breakdown. It's a busy fragrance, but it doesn't smell like a busy fragrance. Like when you see the note breakdown, it looks like super complex, like going to be hard to peel back these layers. Might be too much going on, but that's not the case. When you get your nose on it, it's probably going to be one of the best fragrances you've ever smelled. That's the case for me. It's magnificent. I only wear it certain times a year. I keep it right here within arm's reach with the rest of my Making Sense fragrances because it's so good. I like to just pull the atomizer and sniff it. More so than even doing full wearings. It's a beautiful fragrance. This is the one I would recommend for this time of year. 17 mLs like this go for like $20, and there's always random discounts and sales that he's running. Check the Making Sense Facebook group. If you're looking for discounts, I don't have anything specific that I know of right now. I'll try to look and see if I can find something, but try this. He's got a bunch of good stuff, don't get me wrong. But for this, winter cheapies, I know it says fall, but it's great for the cold. Making Sense, Fallen Leaf. Last but not least, this is the only real true clone in this video. This was made to be a carbon copy. It's ridiculously good, because there's other Middle Eastern clones in here, but they're more inspired by, they're not direct carbon copies. This is a carbon copy of a beloved discontinued Bond No. 9 fragrance. You know where I'm going with this. Called Andy Warhol. This is SCENTual Obsessions version of Andy Warhol. This is my newer bottle. I have an older bottle. This is gorgeous, rich, dense, thick, sweet plum and oud. It's that simplistic, guys. That's the main things that you're going to smell. This is so good. It's ridiculously strong. It lasts for frickin' ever. Until you shower, it's there. The sillage is dense. You're going to smell it the whole time it's on your skin. Not for the faint of heart, not weak. Very unique and special. Plum fruity sweetness with oud. There's amber. I believe there's a little bit of booziness. There's other spices here. There's other things going on, but that's the main takeaways is plum and oud. Plum, oud, and amber, basically. This is a must try. I've been talking about this one for years. Like I said, I have an old bottle from almost like 4 years ago. About 4 years ago. This stuff is magnificent. This is the main recommendation I give when it comes to SCENTual Obsessions. Like I said, this is carbon copy clone. But it's so good, it needs to be featured and discussed in this particular topic. You can get it cheap. This is a 50 ml? Yeah, 50 ml. I forgot exactly what they cost. Sub $50 range, like $35, $40, something along those lines. Goes a long way. You don't need many sprays of this fragrance. I do 2 to 3 sprays because it's so much on my skin. I don't need more than 3 sprays. I really don't. Dense, thick cloud around my neck. I'll just do one on each side, one on the back of my neck. Get your nose on this one. It's absolutely worth wearing this winter and every winter, to be honest with you. SCENTual Obsessions version of Bond No. 9, Andy Warhol. Well, that's the 10 that I have for you this particular winter. Cheapies, the only ones I feel that you need for this particular winter. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe. So I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. What's some of your favorite affordable fragrances under the $50 USD price point to reach for in the winter? Some of these are newer to the collection. I got Pour Homme Intense from Azzaro last winter. Lattafa Khamrah, Rare Carbon from Afnan. Those are recent acquisitions that I have been rocking. I have done full reviews on. I've been enjoying. And then there's some timeless classics for the winter for me. For example, Homme for the holidays, Andy Warhol. Stuff that just works. Really, really good stuff. I hope you enjoyed this video. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of the ones I featured in this video and you give them a spray now, pretty damn confident you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.